What's going on, everybody? Motown EDC here, back again with another video. This one here is going to be a little bit of a different video. We're going to do a case collection video. No pocket dump today. We're just going to go over all my case knives, kind of give a little story about them, and the slips that they're in. But without further ado, here we go. All right. First one up, and you'll notice as I'm going through these, you'll see like doubles of different kinds, just like in different covers and whatnot. But I mean, if I find a knife I like, I might as well have two of them. So here we go. First one, most recent. I've got this case trapper in the burlap micarta with the 1095 steel. There's a good look at that. Got the Teeners all on that clip point blade, looking like a stud. I really like this one. Like I said in my last video, I do use this blade for like meal prep and everything like that, and I'll use the spade blade for pretty much everything else. All right, so there's that one, and it's being held in the Oliver Custom Knives slip. I know, guys, I need to get me a lamp to put on this desk so I have better lighting in here, but it'll come with time. I actually just built this desk so I could do some tabletop videos. Just use some scrap wood from work and build it up. Surprisingly, I only have $25 into it, so that's pretty cool. That works for me. But this right here, Oliver Custom Knife Works leather. Look how thick that is. Handmade in Georgia with the red stitching and everything. 12-ounce water buffalo leather. I really like this one. Go check him out on Instagram. See if you can get you something made. He makes slips, sheaths. He even does little covers for gun stocks and all that stuff. He did a really good job here on his one of his most recent Instagram pictures. But great work. Go check him out. I'll put that right over here. All right, and next up, another trapper, being in this natural Tahoe leather over on Etsy. This one is the Amber Peach Seed Jig Bone. Now this is the knife that actually got me into slip joints. This is the first one I ever bought. You can see how much I've used it, how dark that blade is. I carried it religiously when I first got it. I actually need to start carrying it more. I haven't had it in a pocket in a long time, but I use this all the time. First slip joint I ever bought myself. And at that time, I didn't really care what I was cutting my food with, so I use this thing for everything. You can see I've got Teeners on the spade blade too. But I really like this thing. Trapper's always a solid choice. Centering's not all that great, but I don't really care. It was my first slip joint, and I like it. I actually cut my finger pretty good on with this one. I think it was about last year. I was trying to lose weight, and I was going to the gym and everything. And well, when you lose weight, you got to go down some pant sizes. So I had to get a belt, and I needed to. My belt was a little bit loose, so I had to make an extra hole. And my dumb self used a non-locking knife to do that. So I just started drilling down with it, and then pressed a little too hard, closed right on my finger, right there. But I'm all right. It happens. That's why I say to learn how to use your knives safely, because we all make mistakes like that. Next up, this beautiful piece right here. This is my case tribal lock. This is the first time showing it on this channel before, but this one is very special. This one was customized by ST48 Custom Knife Works in the European Red Stag. Beautiful. This is one of my favorite configurations of the tribal lock, just because it is the one and only one, and I really like it. I got this one at a trade, and I thought it was a really good trade. So, I mean, to be honest, I don't even remember what I traded, just because I like this one so much. But I really like this stag on here because it gives it some more heft in the handle. So it really feels like you can use this thing as opposed to the stock bone covers. This is actually a pretty slim knife when it's stock, but with these stag handles, it feels really good and fills out the hand. You can see I got the Tieners on there. I mean, you're gonna see everyone that has carbon steel and chrome vanadium or 1095 in this collection is gonna have Tieners on them because I use my stuff. But this is my favorite case knife that I think it's my favorite case knife. No, it's not. Second favorite. You'll see why here in a minute. But I love this one. Tribal Lock is my favorite case model of all time. And there's some file work on the back. And I didn't know how I was going to feel about it first, but I really like it. So it's staying. And this one riding in a Kent Smith leather slip in that coffin style. I don't know if you can tell, but it's got like a little two feathers down there, and I don't know if you've seen it, but I like feathers. My last name's Hawkins, so I like feathers. These are some red-tailed hawk feathers because we actually have a red-tailed hawk that has a nest right outside my parents' house. So I don't know, feathers are cool with me. Just a little symbol of home. But there's that one. Next up, got another case tribal lock. This one is the Whiskey Bone CV variation. There we go with my orange and stag. But I really like this Whiskey Bone. With this one, I think it was a while back. I saw Richter's video when he was or one of his Instagram posts or something like that, where he was showing off his tribal lock that he had gotten recovered and everything, and I can't remember what kind of wood it was, but it was some sort of wood, and I really liked it, and it reminded me how much I wanted a tribal lock and just never got one. So I headed over to Slip Joint Exchange on Facebook, threw up a post and said, does anybody have a Whiskey Bone tribal lock? And within 30 minutes, I had one. So this one is really cool. Like I was saying earlier, I'll show you with the stag, the thickness of these two is unmatched. Like this one is super thick, fills out the hand. I mean, this one is still pretty comfortable in the hand despite being thin, but I really like how this stag feels. But enough about that one, I've already talked about it. This was my first tribal lock, and I really like it. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Feels good in my hand. Tribal lock's just the perfect size for me. Enough to get everything you need done. I love the little spear point. I guess you would call that a spear point shape. That Zulu style blade. And you can see I have used the crap out of this one. It takes a screaming sharp edge. This one could use a sharpening, but whenever, like, Case's CV, it takes a hair popping sharp edge, and it's pretty crazy. But there's that one. That one is riding in the second slip Richter ever made me. This one's a natural leather. It's got a little American flag embossed right there with, I guess, it used to be orange stitching, but it kind of faded a little bit. I still like it. It kind of gives it like a all natural look. It kind of matches the leather itself. But those two together. On to the next one. And that one is the last tribal lock. So here comes the Case Sodbuster Jr. in the mahogany bone. This is the Sodbuster Jr. of Sodbuster Juniors. Well, I guess besides the chestnut bone. I had one that was modded and into a spear point, Somebody had done it. I didn't have it done for myself, but somebody had done it and was wanting to get rid of it, so I bought it. And the covers on it broke. So I'm probably going to send that off sometime to get the covers changed. But in the meantime, I really love this mahogany bone. I've contemplated so many times selling it, and then my girlfriend just told me it's really nice. If you want to sell it, you can, but just make it make sense first. And I haven't made it make sense yet, so here it stays in the collection. And this one's riding in another Tahoe leather slip. Got some teeners on there. Wearing in nice and good. But I can't remember. I think this one's, they called it their Western brown color. But that goes with that one. And that slip actually, I switch it between my two Sodbuster Juniors. And this one is a Josh Francis special. Reverse Slater with the orange G10 covers, natural micarta liners. And this one also has a half stop. So I haven't given this one the attention that it deserves, but I don't know, I just got carried away in all the other knives I was getting. This one kind of fell back into the knife chest. So I really like this one. I might carry it tomorrow. But Josh Francis Reverse Slater Sodbuster Jr. in the CV steel. And like I said, that one rides in here too. I just swap them back and forth. Next up is one I got in a trade with Richter. I traded him my sow belly in CV. Sow belly was really one that in pictures and on paper I really liked, but once I got it in hand, I just didn't like it all that much. It's my opinion. I mean, sue me. But I wanted to get rid of it, and I tried to sell it to him, and we decided we were going to work on a trade. But this one is the Case Swayback in Stag. He hit me up and said, I know you're trying to get rid of that sow belly, and I know you collect Stag, and I know you like the Swayback. So we made a deal. He sent me this beauty on over to Motown. No Teener Towns with this one, because this one is their stainless steel. But nonetheless, this is probably one of the only knives, or at least case knives, that I don't mind having in stainless. I mean, I'd take any of them in stainless, really, but I don't use this one for food, is what I'm saying. Is I don't really care if these ones get the Teeners on them, because I don't know, I don't really like Warncliffe style blades for food prep. This one's more of like a package opener, or just little small little tasks and everything, like cutting threads and utility cuts. But I really like this one, and I know a lot of y'all are probably gonna say, I thought you said you don't like small knives. This is the exception. I love this one. This is, I can't explain it. I don't know how, but this one is very small, but I like it. This is the only small knife that I like, I think, ever. I did have a GC14, and it was about the same size as this, maybe a little bit smaller, but I did not like it. I just think the ergos of this, how it fits in my hand with this small size, it just works for me. But there's that one. And then we have the Richter slip. He sent this knife in this slip. I didn't ask him to, he just sent it on over. And I don't know what leather this is, but I really like it. It's got the red stitching on there, but I really like this slip. I would like to know, I'll probably ask him what this leather is to see if he's got any more of it, because I think I might need to get another slip made. I'm actually gonna try and hit up Doggone Leather to get me a slip made for this one, so I don't have to share this slip between the two. I meant to mention that, but I really like this slip. I really like this knife. Thank you, Richter. You're awesome. I don't know why I keep trying to put them back in the slip. I gotta show them off. That's not gonna fit on there. I'm gonna start going, will the knife fit on there too? It will not. gonna start going down here. Well, I've only got 2 more knives left after this one. So, here we go. And on to the next one. I have another Swayback. Like I said, I've got like doubles of specific models. Pretty much everything out here is a double. Got 2 Trappers, 2 Tribal Lux, 2 Sodbuster Juniors, and now 2 case Swaybacks. This one right here, this is the one I got myself for my birthday this past year. I think this is saw cut bone. I can't really remember, but I freaking love this one. It's my first Swayback ever. I love these covers. I don't know. This one is screaming sharp like crazy. Like it's just like you do that and you just kind of feel it grab onto your skin, and it's crazy. But I think this is a beautiful knife. And this, if I had to, I can't say that right yet, but I love this one. This one is awesome. This is an amazing knife. Let me tell you the story behind it too, actually. I was really wanting a chestnut bone CV blade Swayback, and I got desperate, so I went to the Facebooks again, and I got scammed on my birthday with somebody using Richter Knives photos, and I didn't recognize it at the time. So I was out like $65 or $70, but somebody reached out to me and said I had this one. He heard about me getting scammed, but here I wanted one. And he said he had this one, and I said I'd take it. It's not really what I wanted, but I really love it, and I'm glad I got it. And it's riding in a gray leather Tahoe slip. And last but not least, this one's pretty special to me. This is my favorite knife, which is why I said that one wasn't. Not really looks or anything like that wise, but I'll show the slip first. But this one's also made by Kent Smith over on Instagram. We were, I don't know, me and Kent, we just started talking this past year and got pretty close, and I don't know, he's just a cool dude. You should go check him out. Nice, super nice guy. Where we talk about all sorts of like leather and vintage knives, slip joints, traditionals, all sorts of stuff. But he's a really cool guy, and anytime we did like a trade or anything, he'd send some of his slips on over. I think first got in communication whenever Richter put him up on his story on Instagram. I hit him up because I wanted a slip for a knife, and I bought one. He sent like 3 or 4, but he's a really cool guy, nice and down to earth. But there's that slip, and now on to the knife. So this one is a case Texas Jack, I think is what they're called. I don't really remember. Or medium jackknife or something like that. This thing is dark. It's not an old knife by any means. I think it's a 2015, but I was wanting one of these. I don't know why, but I just got a hankering for one. I saw one on eBay. I was like, I kind of want one, so I hit up. I was just talking to Richter, and I told him I was wanting one of these. He was like, man, I've got one. And it's all rusty. I just bought it on a whim, got it real cheap, was gonna fix it up and use it, but I just haven't had the time. So if you want it, you can have it. And I couldn't believe it. And sure enough, he sent it to me. Thing was all rusted, super gritty, grimy, and all that stuff. But this became a project knife for me and my dad. Got all the rust off, got the blade cleaned up, still kept the tinners on there. You can see these blades are black. But it's just become a project knife. Me and my dad cleaned it up, got the action baiter. The pin blade right here, it would stick out of the handles just a little bit right there when you closed it. So we took it and I actually used the diamond file on my Leatherman Wave Plus, ground that nub down a little bit, and now it sits right in that handle. But This knife's not going anywhere. It's just one of the knives. It's got a sentimental attachment to it. I really like it. I think I'm actually gonna try to dye these handles orange, or maybe like a dark brown, but I really like this one. Not necessarily for ergonomics or looks or anything like that. It's just something me and my dad worked on, and it's gonna stay in my collection forever and hopefully be something I can pass down. Well guys, that is my collection video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Leave a comment, give a like, go hit that subscribe button, and as always, y'all come back and see me.